And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Marty's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Wild gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
It's been a long season, and for a lot of these drivers, it's all come down to the last 3 races, when we're in our stage for chase time, the playoffs. The points start to come down to the wire. And here, from the virtual Darlington Raceway, for round number 3 of the chase, it's Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and here tonight we've got a lot of gridding going on down there on the racetrack. 15 cars going to be in the mix here tonight. And some must-win situations for some of these drivers. We mentioned Caustic in the chat. I believe Jonathan Cofield mentioned that, but let's bring your points graphic up on the screen and talk a little bit about how far these guys have come. Eliminated down to our last 8 drivers here this week. You have James Silvers hanging on there, minus 38 points back, a tie for 7th and 8th position, a tie between 4th and 5th position in points as well. So it's really coming down to the wire with only 5 points between Rafael Hubi and GT Hawkins. Having some graphical overlay problems here tonight, so I do apologize. I recently reformatted my hard drives, and so I'm still trying to get the wrinkles worked out, but for the most part, things seem to be working as they start to travel around Darlington Raceway. Let's bring up our track map here tonight. 4 corners, 1.36 miles. This racetrack opened in 1950, and it's egg-shaped for a reason. The farmer that owned the land didn't want his minnow pond disturbed, so they shrunk down the entrance of turn 3, and that's why the backstretch is egg-shaped in these corners. 3 and 4 a little bit tighter than 1 and 2, but the steep banking is only on the top of this racetrack, so it makes it a little more difficult to run a fine line up near that wall. Let's take you trackside here and get your grid. Starting on row number 1, it's Radburn Shutters with Michael Caustic in the 2nd position. Next row is going to belong to John Schwartz, David Farmer in the 4th spot. 5th is James Silvers, Brandon Holder in 6th. 7th, GT Hawkins, Daniel Cunningham in 8th. 9th and 10th is Jonathan Atkins, Rafael Hubi, the points leader, rounding out that top 10. Dustin Reinsettle and Sean Kaser in 11th, 12th. As the pace car pulls off, the remaining of your field from Cody Anderson, Ryback, Robinson, and Morton. But we're live in racing. Looks like Shutters actually falls off the track here. I'm not sure what happened. And we got trouble already. Looks like David Farmer's going around. Lap 1, turn 1. Have to back this up just a little bit more. Farmer just gets touched by Silvers. Maybe a little bit of net code there. Not exactly sure what caused that, but it looked like they went into the corner side by side. with plenty of room, and then suddenly there wasn't any room. So apparently whatever was going on there with the timing of scoring and shutters and the camera angles, it fixed itself. Not exactly sure what the deal was with that. But here we are, caught back up to the pace car. We made it about, I'd say, 1,000 feet into turn one, and then that happened. So we're going to see Farmer probably bring it down pit road. A few other drivers going to come in and top off with fuel. We've seen Rafael Hubi master that this season. So we're going to probably see more of the same there. So this gives me an opportunity to talk a little bit about the different sponsors we've had over the season. We've had several different ones doing, single dairy races, but we need to talk a little bit about Cofield Supply and what they've done for the league and helped out Bluegrass across the Cup Series, sponsored a few races, picking up here for the Chase. And if you would like to know more, please visit, I believe it's CofieldStore.com, but I've forgotten the website. I think that's the correct one. This race and broadcast presented by Cofield Supply and Service, so make sure you go check them out. Pressure washers, pavers, painting supplies. They really do it all. And warranty for a lot of that, so check them out. And here we go, getting ready to go back green, hopefully very soon. We're doing 188 laps here tonight, so that's gonna be a long one. Redburn Shutter is able to stay up on the pole. John Schwartz, Michael Kostick, James Silvers, and Brandon Holder, the top 5. Jonathan Atkins, Cody Anderson, Casey Ryback, Rafael Hubi, and Dustin Reinsettle, the top 10. So lights will go out on the pace car this time by. You see Hubi and a few others coming back down pit road to top off. Top off with fuel, get caught back up to the field. And there it is, doubling back up. So let's try this again. You see Farmer coming off of pit road, trying to get some of that damage repaired. Bring your points battle back up here. Farmer's sitting third in points here. He's 26 points out, so he really cannot afford a mistake in these next 2 races. And after the start to this one, he has plenty of time to recover, but he's gonna have to salvage this day, because if he falls out of that top 4, it's going to make next week even tougher. Here he goes, trying to catch back up to the field. I don't think he's going to do it in time. Green flag is up in the air. And we're going to try this again. Let's go live and racing. Bluegrass TV. Doing it at Darlington. I would say officially leading his first lap. It's going to be Shutters in the 44. He's pulled out half a second in one lap here. A little bit of side-by-side back there behind for the 4th position. Schwartz gets around Caustic and now going to work on Silvers to the inside in 3 and 4. Tough place to make a pass here for the 7 and the 17 side-by-side. See him go down into, oh, Silver's up into the wall almost, gets a bad entry, and now Caustic to the inside. Silver's going to lose 2 positions right out of the gate here. Caustic not able to complete the pass. There's Brandon Holder doing what he needed to do last week to make it up into the top 10. Now trying to get around the outside of Caustic, and they make contact into 1 and 2. A little door touch there by the 8. Caustic struggling to keep it down low on the entry, and now Holder gets around. Atkins now behind. He's trying to get around. Atkins up 3 positions for it. He began this race already. The Shutters is just checking out. He's pulling the 7 of Schwartz, is actually keeping pace with him, but they are a total of about 1 second ahead of James Silvers, and this field has single-filed out here on lap 10. So drivers may be peeking to the inside. There's Rafael Hubi looking to the inside in 3 and 4. Jonathan Atkins not able to make the pass work. It's such a fine line here. Let's ride on board with Hubi and show you how tough it is to pass at this racetrack. Able to get the nose inside of the 57. Maybe side by side down the front stretch. But Hubi not able to carry that momentum. It is such a tight run off of 4. Very difficult to be on the inside and stay in position to make a pass. What you're going to notice these drivers start to do, and as we have a car, I believe that was Reinstedel coming off the wall. You're going to notice these cars get tighter and tighter as the run goes on. And I believe that's what Shutters is starting to experience as he has the 7 of John Schwartz catching up to him. The lead shaves down to under 3/10 now. Catching him's one thing as they go into 3 and 4, but passing him's going to be another. Schwartz can get up on the bumper and maybe put on some pressure, push Shutters to make a mistake, but that's really all you can do. Once these tires get worn out, getting to the inside, going side by side, you're just going to wear your stuff out. Now Shutters starting to lose momentum. But then he picks it back up, pulls it out to 0.6 of a second over Schwartz. Holder now starting to put the pressure on the 7 for the 2nd position. Atkins does get passed finally by Hubi, and now David Farmer trying to go to the inside as they go into 1. Farmer touching the apron, but a good selection there for the pass. Farmer up to 7th now after that lap 1 incident. Good recovery here for the 84. The driver that struggled last week at the Roval, John Kaser, falling out of the top 8 in points, not able to make the final cut line there for the round 2 of the chase, round 2 of the playoffs, but still comes out here and makes a start for tonight's race. And Hubi on the move, started back in 10th, up into the top 5 now. your points leader on the roll. Going to work on James Silvers now for the 4th spot. Hawkins, 14 laps down here tonight. Not sure if he had a connection issue, but that is going to help Hooby tremendously in points. Hawkins might have just had a start and park moment. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, Hooby gets touched by Silvers there. But he's able to make it around the 17. Holder still putting pressure on the back of Schwartz on lap 18 here. Both these drivers have caught back up to Shutters. The 9 car did exactly what he needed to do last week at the Roval. It wasn't one of the tracks that he really favored, but he was able to do an early pit stop, gain some track position. Everybody knew that taking tires was kind of suicide at the road course there because the cold tires just took so long to heat up. They would run out of time before they'd be able to gain those positions back. So a great move for some of those guys that maybe otherwise weren't doing as well at the Roval, end up in the top 5, top 3 rather. And yeah, again, just kudos to the number 9, because here tonight, he has an opportunity to pick up some more positions. Hooby looking to the inside here for 3rd. They're side by side coming off of 4. Not able to make the pass just yet, but he's starting to put the pressure on the 9, who's fallen away from Schwartz, who's falling away from Radburn again. So Shutters is just kind of playing with him, I think, at this point, maintaining the tires, letting them reel him in, and then he turns the heat back up and maintains that gap. The 44 doing an outstanding job here tonight, leading 21 laps of this race. So you see going into 1 and 2, a little bit lower entry, but a really high exit. Now diving it back down. It takes a lot of guts to get up next to that wall on the exit. You got to be really confident in your line. And as the tires fade, you got to be aware of that, knowing when to get back onto the throttle. So Hooby does get around Holder. The pass for 3rd is complete. And the 21 now. Big run as he gets a little wiggly off of 2. Showing the fastest speed on the racetrack right now is Shutters with a 29.799. Other closest driver to that, that's David Farmer in 5th position right now. He was a couple hundredths even faster than that. So this field accordion back up a little bit here from 2nd back to 5th. Looks like Farmer will be catching up in the back of Holder soon enough here. It'll spread back to the 11 of Dustin Reinsettle is about 5.5 seconds. Casey Ryback is at threat of going a lap down. He's about halfway around this racetrack compared to the rest of the field. Battle for 2nd starting to heat up again. With some of these drivers coming down pit road, they're going to be on a little bit different stint of fuel compared to Shutters and Schwartz. Hooby is about 5-6 laps further on fuel, or has about 5 or 6 laps to go further on fuel. And so that's going to help him as well, because he'll be able to stay out a little bit longer get some laps led for the points and be in a situation where he can pit later. This might change his strategy and for the good. Farmer reeling in Holder just a little bit. Shutters makes a mistake. He loses a couple tenths this time by. And Schwartz now runs at 29.7. He's starting to catch up. So the lead back under half a second now. A little loose there off of 2 for Schwartz, but stays off the wall. These guys shifting down to 4th gear as they go into 3 and 4 to get the power off the corner. Farmer all over the back bumper of Holder now. So 29 laps in. It's been shutters all the way. Schwartz is down to 3 tenths again. Farmer gets up in some dirty air. Looked like he was going to try to make a pass on Brandon Holder, but now falls back a couple tenths from him. Going to have to get that momentum back up there. James Silvers, who started in the 5th spot, has fallen back to 6th. He's under fire from the number 8 of Michael Kostick here. Not a lot of passing going on this racetrack now that the tires are worn in. Whoa, we have a car at Atkins. A little bit loose off of 2. The 57 starting to struggle here tonight. Got really loose off of 1 last time there. He's wiggling again. Sounds like this car's starting to get really loose on the exits. I would really like to know. Hawkins comes back out on the racetrack. 14 laps down here tonight. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here to the 14 of Hawkins, but he's going to probably end up finishing for last place points, which isn't horrible here tonight with only 14 cars making the grid. But it's still unfortunate here that his connection or whatever the case may have been getting in late to the session here tonight. So it's Shutters leading every single lap thus far. We're 33 laps into the race of 188 laps here tonight at Darlington Raceway. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live at Darlington Raceway, Shutters still under green, leading some laps, but Schwartz has reeled this guy in to under 0.2 of a second about 4 times here tonight. Is he going to have the chance to finally make a pass, or is it just going to be more of the same? You can see the 44 has been letting him catch up. We see Holder, who's fallen off almost 3 seconds back from the lead. Hooby gets passed back up. I think Hooby might have made a mistake here because the 21 was ahead of the 9. Now we've got some green flag pit stops as there's John Schwartz on pit road. So Schwartz, looks like Atkins, Ryan Stedel all hitting pit road. .44 is going to stay out there for another lap. Michael Kostick coming down pit road now. Behind him, the 85 of Daniel Cunningham. And someone misses the entrance to pit road. Not exactly sure. That was Casey Ryback, it looked like, trying to hit the pits. So Holder and Shutters still out there. Shutters a little wide here in the entry, but he makes it in. Hooby gonna take over the lead. He was one of those drivers that stayed out a little bit further than everyone else. Kaser also in that same strategy, but Shutters, that was previously your leader, as Brandon Holder and David Farmer follow suit. Right sides go up on the 44. Probably going to take 4 tires for everybody on pit road here tonight. There's green flag pit stops. You just can't afford to try to take a gamble right now this early in the race. 42 laps in. There goes the 44 now. Shutters down and away. Hooby still out on the racetrack? No, he comes down pit road. He had the fuel, but I know that the tires are falling off so quickly here. He had a 29.352 for his best lap. The last time by, he was running in the 31 era. It's not gonna cut it. You can't afford to. Well, it looks like Hooby actually maybe takes right sides only. Let's go back and watch that. Did he take a fuel only stop for Hooby? It is a fuel only stop for the 21 car. I guess I didn't realize that was going to be a calculation here tonight, but he's going to struggle. He gets out ahead of the 44. He does lead some more laps, but it's only a matter of time here before the 21 catches up to him. Or the 44, rather. You see what a run off of the corners that those fresh tires are giving Shutters, and now to the inside in 3 and 4. Hooby just going to try to stay up out of the way. But he's got a while to fall back to Brandon Holder. 3.3 seconds back from Shutters after those pit stops. David Farmer. Things pretty close to Holder. It actually advances a spot, I do believe. He's up to the 4th position now after those pit stops. Drivers that had a tough chance here on pit road. The 7 of John Schwartz, who short pitted, ends up a lap down. So must have got a penalty here for the 7. And now has the 85 of Daniel Cunningham on the inside. So the 7 of Schwartz. Oh, contact there with the 57. And he's hard into the inside wall. He actually pops the engine and is not able to get to pit road. He's going to have to tow. So Atkins done for the night, and no yellow flag comes out. Help this driver out, to help any of these drivers out. The 7 hits the wall, 57 bounces off of him, and wow, what a hit to the inside. Let's go on board here. There's the touch off the wall, and then on board with the 57, and man, lifted the back end of the car off the ground. It hit so hard. That's going to pop the engine for the 57 here tonight. The 7 of Schwartz, who really needed a caution, didn't want to be part of one, and still didn't even actually get a caution because the 57, I guess, didn't leave enough debris and oil on the racetrack, and the track steward said keep going. David Farmer, while we were watching that replay, gets around Brandon Holder. Now has to try to chase down Shutters. It's 4 seconds back. And Farmer is running about 2 or 3 tenths slower than Shutters that last time by. He is hanging with him pretty evenly now that he got around Holder. That last time through, he was about 3 tenths faster, rather. So we'll have to wait and see if the 84 can catch up to the 44. "50 laps into this race. So it's been an impressive drive here tonight for the 44 machine of Radburn Shutters, and 47 laps led out of 51. Rafael Hubi leading a few of those as well. Farmer now chasing him down. He's got it down to 3 seconds. He's been consistently about 3 tenths faster a lap. This time through a little bit slower. But he's still catching him overall. He's going to catch up to that 44 if he keeps this pace up. And we'll see a battle for the lead here soon enough. Brandon Holder starting to gain some ground back up on Farmer as well. And Michael Kostick up into the top 5. Rafael Hubi falling back through this field. Some of these guys that stayed out, stretched the tires, strategies. Hubi's been pretty good at it, so I have faith in his ability to figure this one out here tonight. He's probably going to be okay, but you know how cautions can be. If this race goes green, I think Hubi's in a good spot. If they're on the limited tire sets and they have to stop more than what they have for tires, I think that's a good call. And based off the math, they pit somewhere around lap 42, 43. Mathematically, they're going to have to stop 4 times. So the lead starts to stagnate, 3.1. Shutters last time matches the 29.5 that David Farmer puts up. So Shutters probably saving his tires a little bit with that massive lead. Now turns up the heat a little bit this time through. And now he's a 10th faster than Farmer. You can see that translating to the ticker on the left side of your screen. It was 3.0. It's now 3.2. Farmer's starting to lose some ground. Silvers finds himself back where he began this race into the top 5. Sean Kaser is in 6th position. He has Hawkins, who's 14 laps down on the outside. Hawkins will actually end up picking up a position over Jonathan Atkins here tonight. So he will get 13th place points if he can stay out here on the track for just 4 more laps, provided that Atkins doesn't come back out on the racetrack before that point. But it would appear that I would say Jonathan's probably done for the night. I don't have any telemetry for that car. The timing and scoring has it grayed out. I would say he's parked it for this evening. More laps led. 53 now coming across the line for 54. Radburn Shutters puts in another one. And we slowly approach. We're within about 30 laps of halfway. The 44 car maintains his 3.3 second lead here at Darlington. David Farmer, Brandon Holder in the top 3. Michael Kostick in 4th position. James Silvers 5th. We go back through your top 10. Sean Kaser, Daniel Cunningham in the 85, just behind him. Raphael Huby, the points leader, is back in 8th, but probably going to maintain this points lead, provided he can get back up there with this strategy. David Farmer right now is going to probably end up catching up to GT Hawkins after this week. Mathematically, it's pretty close. He's going to be within a few points. There's your points battle as of after the Roval. We take our top 8 next week to Martinsville. And then it's to Homestead Miami Speedway for the championship night. We'll do a full race there as well with 2 stage breaks. Stage break will come at lap 75 here tonight. So we're actually fast approaching. You'll see these drivers trying to make it to that stage break, probably part of why they pitted where they pitted, splitting the run on lap 43. This does bail out Schwartz, though. He'll be able to get back on the lead lap after this stage break. He'll have the lucky dog position. Casey Ryback 2 laps down. GT Hawkins. But I tell you what, Schwartz is... He's close. Right there is Schwartz, and there's Shutters coming off of 4 now, so he's going to have to turn up the heat a little bit here if he wants to stay on the lead lap. After that stage break, he's going to be 2 laps down. That's going to be too much. About 12 laps to go here before the stage break. That's plenty of time for Shutters to catch up to him. We're going to take another quick commercial break here on V-Speed. Just before the stage break, you're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on V-Speed. We'll be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live at Darlington Raceway, Bluegrass Cup Series. The 44 of Radburn Shutters has led the vast majority of the laps. 67 laps into our 188 lap race. And the Bluegrass Cup Series presented by Cofield Service and Supply hasn't disappointed. The points battle tightening up. GT Hawkins, who was second in points here tonight coming into this race, 14 laps down. Rafael Hubi trying to stretch out that lead. So here we are back out on the racetrack, and you can see the massive lead just approaching the stage break that Radburn Shutters has maintained, a 1.3 second gap back to David Farmer. Brandon Holder holding on to third here for this stage break. Caustic about 3 seconds back. Holder is within range to maybe pass Farmer if he makes a mistake, but with only 5 laps to go before that break, I would have to say it's probably not going to happen. This field will bunch back up, though, and the dramatic lead that the 44 is stretched out, it's going to be gone. But here he is, right up on the back bumper of the 7 of Schwartz to maybe put him 2 laps down. Schwartz would get the lucky dog pass if he can stay 1 lap down after the mistake on pit road during green flag pit stops. The 7 car needs this position. He's going to have to fight for it. So still holding on here with 5 laps to go in the stage. Good run off the corner here for the 44. He's going to look. Thought he was going to peek to the inside. There's Hubi just in front. He's at a threat to go a lap down as well. The 44 on another level here tonight. The 21 scrapes the wall in 1 and 2. These drivers both at threat to go a lap down, and now Hubi brushes the wall. The 7 goes by. But this doesn't help the 7 because if the 21 car gets passed by the 44, he's no longer going to be the lucky dog. So now the 21 of Hubi is also a lap down. He's got to stay in front of the 44 or Hubi gets it. Now 2 laps to go. Maybe a move to the inside here off of 2 for the 44. David Farmer has caught up to this pack. The lead now down to 1 second. A hard charge here with the lap traffic. Brandon Holder also up into the mix. Side by side here for second position. Holder now getting to the inside of David Farmer. Trying to complete the pass, and the 7 of Schwartz goes around. He gets a save, but he almost comes back up in front. Farmer able to hold on to it. He almost comes back up in front. We'll have to go back and watch what happened to Schwartz. He's down on pit road now. Out of the race. White flag up in the air here for Shutters. David Farmer able to hold on to the second position. And Caustic back here getting by Hubie. Hubie going to get the lucky dog position. Stage winner here for the 44. Gutters puts down an amazing 75 laps here at Darlington. He leads 72 of those laps in a good fashion. Let's take you back on your race replay after we hit these pit stops and see what happened to John Schwartz. We're going to hit these pit stops really quickly before we take you back on that. But, oh man, Holder was making a pass on Farmer, and Schwartz comes off the wall, shoots it down to the bottom of the racetrack, came all the way back up in front of Holder, who had to check up. Almost gets into the 84 Farmer. It just was complete chaos there for those last couple laps. And Schwartz parking it behind the wall. That'll give Hawkins another opportunity to make a pass out here on the racetrack. Hawkins gets to wave around and gets one of those laps back. But I think it's going to be a far shot in the dark here for the 14 to get back on the lead lap. Right side's going up here on the 44. Down and away for 84 Farmer at the commitment cone. It is going to be Shutters winning that battle. Let's take you back on the instant replay and find out what happened to the number 7. So this might be a little bit too far back, but Hubie gets around the 7 car, so we saw that happen. We knew the situation that if the 7 of Schwartz gets past, he's going to be 2 laps down, so the stage break's not going to happen. Or a wave around. And here they go into what I believe is 1 and 2 here. I think this is about the time, maybe a little too far back. Hubie gets into the wall, so Schwartz is going to go back around him, or try to anyway. He gets by. Here comes the 44 now to pass Hubie. I'm trying to think. I think this is about the time that it happens. So here they go into 1 and 2. The 44 of Shutters all up on the back bumper. You had Farmer and Holder catching up to this pack as well. Now we must have rewound pretty far, but this is just, I guess, building it all back up to make you guys understand how important this was for Schwartz to stay on the lead, or at least 1 lap down. And there's a little contact there. The 44 gets by him. And the 77 just gets super loose off of 2. Almost shoots it back up in front of Holder. And then just parks it for the night. So stage winner, the 44 of Shutters. Lights are out on the pace car. We're getting set to go back green. You've got Shutters, Farmer, Anderson, Holder, Hubie back up there in the top 5. Or Hubie, he's since recovered, but I'm 20.5 seconds in the box there. I'm not exactly sure if he made a mistake on pit road or what exactly happened to the number 21. But nonetheless, we're going to go back green flag racing for the second stage of this race on lap 80. Shutters and Farmer going to lead him into turn 1. The field doubled up for the most part. Some wave arounds behind him. Green flag back up in the air. We're back live and racing at Darlington. Picking up another lap lead for the 44 of Shutters. Farmer going to keep pace with him, about 0.2 of a second off. You've got Cody Anderson in the 42, highest position for him tonight. He's up to third from 13th. Starting at the tail end of this field in the last row, and the 42 up into the top three. Rafael Huby and Brandon Holder going at it for the fourth position. These fresh tires given some opportunities. James Silvers falls back. He hits the outside wall, tears the entire front end off the car. And that car does not want to steer. Let's see if we can back this up, find out what happened to him. Really loose through 1 and 2. Snaps it back up to the outside and takes Kaser with him. Then hard impact to the inside wall. And that car just didn't want to turn anymore. No yellow flag, though. And unfortunate there for the 17. That's another position possibly for Hawkins here. The Silvers is down 2 laps already. Battle for the lead, though, heating up. The 84 of David Farmer is up on the back bumper of Shutters. The first time challenge of the night. Side by side down the front stretch. Farmer gets the run. Hard to do out of 4. He's going to go into turn 1 side by side. Change for the lead now to the 84 of David Farmer. Lap 85. And he shoots out of turn 2 like a rocket ship. 0.5 of a second right there. Shutters falling back. Off the pace a little bit here. Now Holder starting to catch up in the 9. So a lap lead here for the 84 car. He takes over on lap 85. Radburn Shutters falling back to second. Brandon Holder third. Rafael Huby in the top 5. He's in 4th. And Michael Kostick. Great race for him. Quiet night here for the 8. He's been in and out of the top 5 a little bit tonight, but started up in the 2nd position. He's maintained pretty well here at Darlington. Daniel Cunningham, a good race for him as well in the 85. Up 2 positions from where he began this race, and he's kept all the fenders on it. Hard thing to do here. The lady in black at Darlington. The lead continuing to grow to almost 1 full second now for the 84 of Farmer. The question is he overdriving it? You know you got Huby back here with an extra set of tires, so that situation hasn't changed. But it could change the lead situation in the closing laps of this race. We've come so close to an actual caution here tonight with several different drivers. Jonathan Atkins hitting the wall. John Schwartz coming sideways across the front of the field there. And then you had James Silvers, who just hit the inside wall a moment ago, hitting Kaser along the way, and still no yellow flag tonight. Makes you wonder if iRacing is updated their telemetry to match this racetrack. The racing surface isn't very wide here, but I think a car stopped anywhere on the racetrack with debris everywhere. I feel like that should at least trigger a yellow. Farmer, Shutters, Holder, Hooby, and Caustic, the top 5. All the way back to James Silvers, who is 9 laps down, sitting on pit road, trying to get back out on the racetrack. So 2 positions possible as Kaser pulls it off the race surface. Hawkins could get a top 10 here tonight, even though he missed the grid. He could salvage this day and mitigate some of that points battle between him and Hooby, as we've had some attrition here on the racetrack. He's now up to 12th and has the potential to gain 2 more spots here. He's only about 4 laps away from that. If Silvers gets back out on the racetrack, that would be the only preventative. And I don't know if Silvers is going to get this damage fixed, because that front end of the car, it wasn't even connected to the steering rack anymore. So the sun's starting to blind these drivers down the backstretch. By the time we get to the end of this race, it'll be really close to a night race here at Darlington. The lead stretches out over a second, and the 44 of Shutters is now in the grasp of Brandon Holder for the second position. So Shutters not having a good second stage to this race so far. Raphael Hooby was actually catching up to these 2 drivers just a moment there, and now falls off at 10th. It's amazing how dirty air can affect these cars. That very sensitive on the entrance of these corners, makes it really tight to get down in there. And if you're battling a tight condition, as Hooby looks like he's starting to battle a loose condition as he comes off a 2, starts to lose a little bit more ground to Holder. On board with Shutters now. Looking back at Brandon Holder. Just hanging right with him here, about 0.2 of a second. So we're past the halfway point, and that's usually what I like to do, is ask you where your volume knob is, if you know where it is, whether you're on mobile or on YouTube right now. It's the moment where we turn up the volume and piss off your neighbors. So go for it, crank it up. We're going to do it the same here on V-Speed. And to lead another lap, David Farmer stretches out 1.5 seconds over Radburn Shutters. Brandon Holder, Rafael Hubi, and Michael Kostick still the top 5. Farmer just looking good here in the second stage of this race. Shutters, who led the most laps, 81 to be exact, falls off on lap 85. Back to second. Brandon Holder not able to pass, and now 17, 18 laps led for the 84 of David Farmer. The only other driver to lead laps here tonight, that's Rafael Hubi in the 21. He has 3 laps led, so he will get that bonus point. We'll start to approach ever so closer to that final cutoff race at Martinsville for our top 4. Again, we'll take another look at your points to help you size up where some of your favorites might end up. Tied here between Shutters and Atkins. But after tonight, with Atkins making an early exit behind the wall, Shutters should jump up into the top 4. Then you're talking about Hubi and Hawkins, only 5 points separating them. Hawkins is mitigating that damage slowly, and it's 13 laps down for the number 17. And I believe he gets back out on the racetrack, but I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to hold on to this. The front end completely missing on that race car. He's probably going to lose this next lap, and he'll be racing for position with Hawkins here soon enough. So Hawkins will make a pass out on the racetrack here tonight as well. 14 laps down for the 14. The lead shrinks down a little bit here between Shutters and Farmer. Shutters starting to make a little bit of a comeback last time by, about a tenth faster. And I know that 17 of Silver's might have had a little bit to do with that as they navigated around the 17 car. It was kind of a bad spot there where they met up. But here we go again, this time by. It looks like they're going to be more of the same. 0.2 of a second faster for the 44. So he's catching up again. Battle for the lead heating up a little bit here. David Farmer looking back at the 44. And Shutters just inching away here as they go into 3. Big run off of turn 4, shaping up here for the 44 of Shutters. He's going to get right up on the bumper of Farmer now, down the front straightaway. Going to back the corner up a little bit earlier than the 84 to get the run off of 2. Farmer able to maintain, give him a little bit of dirty air. But Shutters has caught up to the 84. Just a matter of time before he can pass. And not being able to get around him, Brandon Holder slowly working his way closer in the 3rd position. He may have an opportunity here soon enough. Another 10th shaved off for the number 9. He gives 3 of them back there on that last time by. So Holder makes a little mistake there out of 4. And now it looks like Farmer might be saving his tires a little bit as he starts to pull back away from Shutters. Back out to 0.3 of a second. Silvers gets passed by Hawkins. Hawkins officially up into the top 10. Checking back here with the points leader, Rafael Hubi, who is in 5th. On board with your 7th place driver, Dustin Reinsettel. Reinsettel is up 4 positions from where he began the race here in the 11th position. And I tell you, he's had a quiet night, but he's doing good enough to keep it on the lead lap. He's about 0.9 of a second back from Daniel Cunningham here to try to make a pass for that position. And it looks like we're going to start some green flag pit stops on lap 115, the 11 coming down. Hubi getting passed by Cunningham here for 5th. Farmer coming down pit road now. That's your race leader coming in. Shutters is going to stay out for a lap. Might be bringing it down this time by. And he is. Down and away now for the 84, back out onto the racetrack. Hawkins coming down as well as the 85 of Cunningham. Brandon Holder in as well. Caustic out. Nope, he's still in pit road, so this all cycles through. We should be done with green flag pit stops. Farmer now coming off the backstretch. Shutters just now getting down and away. There goes Farmer on the outside. He gets by Holder. Will he get by on Shutters? Shutters coming up the racetrack. Not up to speed, but very close to the 84, who's going to have about 1 lap older tires. So 0.2 of a second here for Farmer. Short pitting didn't benefit him as much as he had hoped. Stretches the lead out a little bit here as they come off of turn 4. They match about even on the lap times. 29.4 for Farmer, 29.5, 2.6 for Shutters, and this battle for the lead has stayed hot since the start of the second stage. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series. We're going to take another quick commercial break and bring you flag-to-flag coverage back on V-Speed right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
If you're a professional race car driver or crew chief, then you know how important it is to ensure the safety of your team while unloading and maneuvering your car around the track. That's where Steering Buddy comes in. Steering Buddy from Hostile Industries is the go-to solution for making unloading your car a breeze. It essentially eliminates the need for a crew member to be in a vulnerable position in a liftgate, resulting in a safer environment for everyone. Not only that, but Steering Buddy allows you to maneuver your car from the outside around sharp turns, reducing the time and attempts required to get it in position. And setting it up couldn't be easier. Simply install the clamp onto the steering column and good to go. Plus, with its own battery, you won't have to draw power from your car, and it eliminates the lateral force that crew members often apply to the steering column when maneuvering the car from the outside. So, if you want to ensure the safety of your crew, make unloading your car a breeze, and reduce time and effort, Steering Buddy is the product for you. Get yours now at steeringbuddy.com.
Back here live at Darlington Raceway, and while we were on that commercial break, we had a little bit of a challenge for the lead. Let's take you back. Show you where the 44 of Shutters gets to the inside of Farmer. They go side by side here for about a lap. But the 44 just not able to complete this pass. You can see Farmer fighting back on the outside as they go into 3 and 4. Gets a good drive in, and he's able to hold on to it. Still at the point here for the 84. He's led 39 laps now, and Shutters is doing a great job of keeping him honest, though. Brandon Holder, 1.4, 1.5 seconds back. He's reeled him in a little bit here. Last time by, he was a 10th faster. On board now with the number 9. Lap traffic going to be a factor here in front of these leaders. Might give Holder an opportunity to catch up a little bit more. 17 of Silvers dives it down off the racetrack to let these guys by. Here's Hawkins now, who is 15 laps down at threat of going another lap down. Michael Kostick in the 4th position. Started second. He hasn't lost too much, but he has lost some ground, and so 10 seconds back from the lead. Going to be a little bit tough to overcome unless we have a caution. The 8 car into the top 5 here tonight. Daniel Cunningham in the 85. He's in 5th. He's gotten ahead of your points leader, Rafael Hubi, back behind him about a full second. With the 21 car with his strategy here tonight, maybe going to pan out here towards the end. We'll have to wait and see. He might be a guy in the factor in with that extra set of tires. We'll just have to wait, see how this race plays out. If it stays green, that strategy will play off for him. And Dustin Reinstedel in the number 11 in 7th position and still holding on to it. He's 3.2 seconds back from Hubi. He might have an opportunity to make a pass, but we'll have to wait and see. Cody Anderson in 8th. Casey Ryback, 13 laps down on pit road here from the 91. Looks like this might be his final pit stop of the night. Not exactly sure. The 91 car looks like he's just parked. So Hawkins still, I don't know if he made a mistake or if he came back down pit road. It looks like he did. Not exactly sure what happened here to the 14, but he goes back behind James Silvers again. Silvers back out on the racetrack. Timing and scoring showing him about a lap ahead. Just have to wait and see what happened to Hawkins. But now some green flag pit stops, or some mistake was made with Holder, Farmer getting passed by both Shutters and the 44. Let's go back and see what happened to him. And he gets loose here in 1 and 2. He's able to keep it off the racetrack. But there's the mistake right there that cost Farmer the lead. He falls back to 3rd. Shutters now back to leading some laps. With Brandon Holder 1 second away. David Farmer falls 2.8 back. So Farmer might have to pull off a strategy here and short pit these guys. Have to wait and see how far they can make it on fuel. Although Farmer is going to be able to make it. I don't think any of these drivers can actually make it on fuel. A little shuffle there for the top 3, but the top 5 has remained pretty much the same. 137 laps into this race, and all the way on the other side of the racetrack as your leader comes across to lead his 89th lap on lap 137. Shutters looking like the car to beat again. I was a little bit worried because Farmer was starting to turn up the heat, but that little mistake cost the 84. It was going to be a battle there to the very end. We'll just have to wait. The race has still got a lot left here. We're about 50 laps to go. Don't count Farmer out yet. I do hear some guys starting to save fuel, so that might be another factor with the strategy. The lights are on this racetrack now. The sun's down. No longer blinding these guys down the backstretch. Brandon Holder now falls back 1.7 seconds. Farmer a little bit faster than Holder, but 0.3 off of Shutters, is still putting up 29.7. Still in good shape. I thought this was the cutoff race. I'm going to chat now. I'm checking it out. For any of you that are out there in the chat right now, if you have a favorite driver out on the racetrack, go ahead and shout him out. We'll try to get him some TV time. And I mean, we've had a pretty good balance, I think, overall. I think we've done pretty well here tonight, making sure everyone gets their showing out on the racetrack. Your top 5 is Shutters, Holder, Farmer, Caustic, and Cunningham. Points leader Hoobie, excuse me, in 6th spot. Reinstedel, Anderson, Silvers, the first car a lap down, in 9th. Then Hawkins in 10th. The battle between those two drivers is about 9.5 seconds back as the 14 pulls down to let the 8 of Caustic go by. Casey Ryback falls behind Hawkins. Hawkins makes another pass on the racetrack. So Ryback, the last car on the track, 22 laps down with the number 91. The lead stretches out to almost 3 seconds. Brandon Holder trying to get around James Silvers with the front end missing on that machine. Drops down low, lets the 9 car go by. Here into 1 and 2. Actually in 3 and 4 rather. 17 car is so struggling to keep it on the racetrack here. Here on and off the throttle a little bit different than everybody else. Doesn't have that front downforce to get that car to steer. So he's having to lift a lot longer than the rest of this field to actually make these corners. Listen to him again here in 1 and 2, and then we'll go on board with your leader. I'm going to stay off the throttle a lot longer here. This is at 3 and 4, so let's listen in on 1 and 2. On board with your leader, Shutters. And Shutters now looking to the inside of the 42 of Anderson to put him a lap down. That's 8th position that he's going by right now. And your leader passing up the 42. Next car in line would be Dustin Reinstedel, who's about a couple, I'd say about 4 seconds ahead of the 44. Right there in the top right corner of your screen is the leader. Here clutching for the number 11. They're trying to save fuel maybe to make it to the very end. He was one of the first guys to come down pit road. I'd say we're going to see one more set of green flag pit stops, and if they are on their last set of tires for Hoobie, he might be in the situation where he can take tires and the rest of these guys can't. I guess I don't know the exact tire count, but that might have been why the 21 during the stage break, or during the first stage on the split, doesn't take tires. It's barely able to hold on and get the wave around, with John Schwartz making that mistake. Bails out the 21. Three seconds back now for Holder. as we approach 30 to go. Back here with Daniel Cunningham. We're going to ride on board with him for a moment. I believe he might be one of the drivers that's trying to clutch this thing and make it to the very end. I don't know. Some of these guys, they pitted very short. I don't know that that's going to benefit them, though, because the tires are going to be so gone by the time that happens. There's Ryan Settle on pit road. Down and away now for the 11. Here comes the 44 into the pits. David Farmer down and away. Can Farmer make up that time here on pit road? Farmer had about 47.7 seconds in pit lane. Tires are going on the 44 car, so everybody here had enough tires to make it to the end. Points leader Hoobie comes back out in the 6th spot. Farmer coming back out in 3rd. He is 4 seconds back, but he is caught up to Holder. About 33 laps to go. These guys got a long ways to catch the 44 car. He did it to him in the first stage. Here he does it again. The lead stretches out to over 3 seconds. Oh, a little loose here for the 9. He gets loose off of the exit of 2 and lets Farmer go by. So a mistake for Holder. Almost the same mistake that Farmer made a moment ago when he lost the lead. .7 seconds now for the leader. On board with the number 8 of Michael Kostick. He is 13.2 seconds back. I'm interested to see if he can catch up to Holder or Farmer here in the closing laps. It looks like he's just a little bit off the pace here tonight, but he is running matching lap times with the 9 of Holder. 29.477 to Kostick's 29.4 flat. So he is catching a little bit, but that's it's going to take more of a 3 or 4 tenths of a second a lap here if he wants any shot at getting the top 3. Crossing the 100 laps led threshold, Shutters has locked up the most laps led for this race. 3 seconds ahead of David Farmer. And what could be classified as probably a dominating performance here for Shutters. We're going to take another quick commercial break here live on V-Speed. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live at Darlington Raceway for round 3 of the playoff championship. We'll be back right after this.
If you're a professional race car driver or crew chief, then you know how important it is to ensure the safety of your team while unloading and maneuvering your car around the track. That's where Steering Buddy comes in. Steering Buddy from Hostile Industries is the go-to solution for making unloading your car a breeze. It essentially eliminates the need for a crew member to be in a vulnerable position in the liftgate, resulting in a safer environment for everyone. Not only that, but Steering Buddy allows you to maneuver your car from the outside around sharp turns, reducing the time and attempts required to get it in position. And setting it up couldn't be easier. Simply install the clamp onto the steering column and you're good to go. Plus, with its own battery, you won't have to draw power from your car, and it eliminates the lateral force that crew members often apply to the steering column when maneuvering the car from the outside. So, if you want to ensure the safety of your crew, make unloading your car a breeze, and reduce time and effort, Steering Buddy is the product for you. Get yours now at steeringbuddy.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live on V-Speed Bluegrass Cup Series in South Carolina. Darlington Raceway has made 168 laps of the 188. Some trading and battling for the lead. As Radburn Shutters has led the most laps, David Farmer tried to take it away from him. Made a little mistake and gave the lead back. And Shutters now going around Rafael Hubi to put him a lap down, catching up to Daniel Cunningham. You've only got 5 cars left on the lead lap. The lead is shrinking though. David Farmer is 2 seconds back from Shutters. And Farmer has ran pretty consistent laps. The 17 is Silver's in the way. So that almost cost Farmer. It cost him 2 seconds because Silvers is out on the racetrack. I would not be happy with that. I mean, as a driver's standpoint, I know that the 17 of Silvers is out there to finish his race out, try to get a top 10, but there's a points battle out here between the 44 and the 84, and it's just unfortunate. He loses almost a second and a half trying to get by on the outside. And Silvers with heavy damage, just not able to get out of the way. Now coming up on the 21 of Rafael Hubi. All of that track gain that David Farmer had put on is gone. And Shutters checking out. Back over 3 seconds with about 13, 14 laps to go. Across the line now. Farmer all the way back here, just now entering 3. Hawkins gets up to 9th position here to mitigate some damage even more. And the 14 car gonna bring it home. 16 laps down with the whatever happened there at the beginning of this race. But a top 10 for the 14, sticking it out. Some attrition helping that guy. But he is gonna come home in the top 10. Michael Kostick looking like he might seal the deal on the top 5 here tonight. Started up in 2nd, but falls off a couple spots. He's maintained the top 5 since the beginning of this race for the most part. I think he fell out one time. But he's 15 seconds back from the lead, 11 and a half back from Brandon Holder. Probably going to be stuck here in 4th position, barring that we don't have a caution. And just to do it, we'll bring those points back up on your screen one last time so you have an understanding of what the playoffs look like coming in to round 3. The top 8, what Rafael Hubi's 5-point lead. Not going to grow as much as we thought it would have, with Hawkins able to get up to 9th. Hubi will make a little bit of a gain, being able to lead some laps here tonight. But with Atkins off the racetrack, he's going to fall out of the top 4. Shutter's going to probably capitalize on that even more because 14th is last place here tonight for Atkins. So a big jump here for the 44. And this will lock him into the playoffs if he gets this win. He is guaranteed a spot. So we've got 8 laps to go. Radburn Shutters pulls the lead out 4.6 seconds over David Farmer. Brandon Holder in third, doing what he needs to do this week. The number 8 of Caustic. The 85 of Cunningham, the top 5. Hoobie, the points leader, 1 lap down. Doesn't look like he's at threat, but Ryan Stedel is catching up to the 21. A little bit. He's within a second. David Farmer falling back even more. It looks like he's used those tires up in the initial charge he was making to Farmer. Had it down to just about 2 seconds for the lead before some issues with the 17 of Silvers. Puts Farmer back over the 3-second mark, and since then hasn't really been able to recover any of that time. Has actually lost 2 additional seconds to that lead. I'm not sure if the 84 picked up any damage from that, but 5 laps to go, and it looks like Shutters has sealed the deal here. Most laps led. Gonna add 5 more to this list for probably a total of 140. Remember, Shutters last week at the Roval led some laps, was up front. This week, looks like he's gonna seal the deal and put it in victory lane. 3 laps to go as he crosses the line. The battle between Hoobie and Hawkins has been mitigated. Hawkins up to the 9th position here before this thing ends. He technically qualified in 7th here tonight, but doesn't make the grid to get out on the racetrack, and he's getting really loose here into 1 and 2. 2 laps to go here, and Shutters praying for a caution not to come out. Off of turn 4. White flag up in the air. Shutters just has to get around Darlington one more time. 140 laps led. If he can come across the line in first place, and he will, down the backstretch for the final time, it's the 44 putting on the dominating performance here tonight. Radburn Shutters is going to win round 3 of the first race and seal the deal for the playoffs. Second place goes to David Farmer. Third position back to Brandon Holder. That top 3 fighting amongst themselves all race long, but ultimately it's Shutters who seals it up. Just a little bit better on and off pit road. And he's able to stretch out that lead. Post-race interviews with your top 3. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series at Darlington Raceway. Race number 1 of round 3 in the playoffs. Radburn Shutters seals the deal, locks himself in going into Martinsville. It will be back live on V-Speed right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live at Darlington Raceway. Bluegrass Cup Series has concluded. The 188 laps here tonight at the 1.32 mile egg-shaped oval in South Carolina. We're catching up down on pit road with your top 3. We have the number 9 of Brandon Holder now down on pit road. And Brandon, it looked like here tonight, it was just a matter of who got on and off pit road between you and David Farmer and Radburn Shutters. You guys battled out pretty much the entirety of this race. But congratulations, man. That was a hard-fought top 3.
Yeah, I'm happy to get out of here with the top 3. Radburn, he ran a hell of a race, man. He was flying, and Dave did as well. So just glad to be in the top 3 for sure.
I mean, overall here, we're coming down to crunch time. You did what you needed to do last week to put yourself up in the top 8. Now you do one even better. You ran a consistent race and no laps led, but you were in the top 3 for pretty much the entirety of this thing. Got really close to the lead a few times. How are you feeling about going into Martinsville next week?
Well, I'm a little bit nervous because, I don't know how the points are going to shake out because Radburn pretty much turned it upside down, winning from 8th. So we'll just see what the points are and go into Martinsville and hopefully have a good race. I like the track if people keep it clean.
Here tonight, we ran caution free other than the stage break, and you put it up there in 3rd in the long run. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out while you got you?
Oh, yeah. I got to thank Cornerstone Motorsports for everything they do. The help that they do during the race from the crew chief and the planning before the races and practices, it's top notch. So I want to thank those guys, and I got to thank BK Paints for the paint, and thank you for broadcasting.
We appreciate your time, Brandon, and we look forward to next week at Martinsville. BK Paints, number 9, Brandon Holder, going to try to win the championship, lock himself in next week. There's your 3rd place finisher. Let's move on to your 2nd place driver. That's going to be David Farmer in the number 84. Red Rocket Dave, I tell you what, man, that one little mistake coming out of 1 and 2, I think that cost you the race, but man, were you fast tonight.
Yeah, Radburn and I, we were just talking. I was fast early, and he was faster on the back end. So, we were definitely on the back end of that run. The mistake obviously blew my chances, but I would have definitely had a chance, but I still think he would have got me at the end of it. We were very back and forth on who had the race speed at first versus the race speed at the end.
Now, we noticed that you were always about a lap ahead on pit stops, and then you come out about 2/10. I think on that second to last stop, you came out 2/10 ahead of him. Do you think that had we had a caution, or was there anything that would have changed the outcome of this race? Minus that mistake?
I came out really, really getting after it, and probably burning the tires up more than I should have on each run. So obviously caution would have broke that up, but it was low car count. It's just what happens with low car count. But it was a fun race, and I think Radburn and I were just discussing there was a time we came through 1 and 2 side by side. So hopefully we got some good TV there for that.
Yeah, we were actually on a commercial break, but we came back. We had saw it, bookmarked it, and brought it back after the commercial. And yeah, you guys going side by side for an entirety of a lap. You're able to hold him off into the entrance at 3. It was good. You don't see that too often here at Darlington, where guys are going to go side by side in 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's just, I think it takes, it's just that's back to this league and what we bring to the table as far as drivers is we have a lot of trust around one another. We've raced each other. This is going on, I don't know, race 20 for this or 19 for this season. So we know how each of us race against each other, and it's all about you got to give a little bit and take a little bit whenever you can.
Well, David, we appreciate your time going into the playoffs for our final of round 3 at Martinsville. What do you have in store for us at the short track?
Martinsville is, short tracks in general are something I like to hang my hat on. I'm usually pretty good at them. Any track that involves throttle control, I feel like I'm really good with throttle control and trying to say you're driving off the right rear. That's the trick, I believe. So, anyways, I'll come out and hopefully we can keep it clean. It's Martinsville, so anything can happen. But keep it clean and try to get around with a decent finish and move on to the round of 4, hopefully.
Well, David, while we got you up here in the broadcast booth and we go into round 3, do you have anybody you'd like to shout out here tonight?
Oh, as always, thanks to you and Eddie for always coming in and doing the broadcast for Monday nights and tonight, and Eddie doing the replay broadcast for Xfinity. Shout out to you guys for that. Shout out to Cody Anderson for taking care of the league and keeping us afloat. And last but not least, shout out to my family, my wife and kids. They're for letting, giving me the ability and letting me do this as a hobby. It's something I really enjoy, and they're always very supportive of it. So just want to say thank you to them and friends and family watching, everybody. It's a good time.
Well, outside of that, David Farmer, second place finisher, congratulations. And we look forward to seeing you next week, maybe up here in the broadcast booth as we go short track racing. Good luck, man.
Thanks.
Red Rocket Dave, second place finisher, David Farmer here at Darlington. And finally, down here in Victory Lane, it's your race winner putting on a clinic out there, 140 laps led. Radburn Shutters just smoking them out there. It looked like you were fast on pit road. You were fast on the long run. You were fast around lap cars. Where weren't you fast here tonight? Was the hauler quick into the pits too? Like, did you guys just show up early? What happened?
Man, there was a lot of practice went into that. I've just always liked Darlington anyway, and the amount of practice put in for this race, knowing good and well that Martinsville was a coin toss for everybody, I really wanted and needed this one in order to make it, being at the very bottom of the line as far as playoffs cut line goes and lasting points. This is going to be my one chance. So we put in a lot of time this week. Getting prepped for it, was running really good practice, had a lot of confidence, went into practice today and ripped a crazy good lap, like 2 or 3 laps in, and just felt good all day. And qualifying, it just all fell together. And there's a lot of good racing between a few of us out there. David Farmer especially. That guy, we were trading licks for a while. It seemed like that was pretty stressful having to race with him. Of course, we're excellent and clean, raced each other great. It was just passing at Darlington is never subtle, it seems.
No, it's really not. And I tell you, we talked to Farmer, we talked to Holder. You pretty much turned the points on their head here after tonight. You were tied with Jonathan Atkins coming in from the Roval. Atkins having an early exit to this race, and so you were tied. Now you do the complete opposite. You win the race. Atkins one of the first cars out. I mean, you locked yourself into the final 4. I mean, your confidence level right now is through the roof, and I guarantee that Martinsville, I know it's a stressful track, but I think just coming out on the track and starting should be good enough for you.
Yeah, this is I had the same. I'm pretty sure it was last season. I had the same circumstances in the Xfinity Series in Bluegrass, where I could go to Martinsville and just go race, no stress. Was in the Final Four, and that definitely makes Martinsville a little more tolerable. Knowing that I ain't got to go out there and go get points or go get a win or something, man, that's huge. Just super happy we got it done today.
And you're also going to gain on the 2 points leaders here after tonight with Rafael Hubi finishing back in 6th, Hawkins in 9th. Not sure exactly what happened to Hawkins here in the pre-race, but he ends up 16 laps down. So you catch up on both those guys. You didn't so much catch on David Farmer, but you guys trading licks all night here tonight, going into Martinsville. It's looking pretty tight here for this top 4.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. I know that Martinsville, with this group of guys, we've got an excellent group of drivers. Have a lot of them, been doing this a long time, and I feel like we're all going to be able to go to Martinsville and put on a really good show. You can never take out the tenacity of Martinsville either. There's going to be some licks. There's going to be some guys wrecking. There's going to be some hurt feelings, but I think we'll be able to turn a pretty good product, and then the guy that comes away with that one is going to be probably just as happy as I am right now.
So next week, all the drivers are going to install a little bit of extra RAM in their computers. Going to use the chrome horn with the 2 drag strips connected with flat corners. Shutters, do you have anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's victory?
Yeah, everybody at Cornerstone, big time for carrying on with the practice, and crew chief and there was GT and Alex had a lot to do with our strategy for this race, and of course every week that we come out, everybody just kind of between gathering data and practice, everybody's on board, putting together these strategies and stuff. You can't thank them guys enough, because without that, ain't no telling where we'd be finishing these races. Got to thank everybody at Cornerstone. Got to thank everybody at the broadcast. Y'all put on a great show every week. Everybody with Bluegrass for having this great group of guys come out and race every week. Gonna thank also a huge thanks to Justin Ray for putting this car together for me. This is my dad's throwback. I give him a picture of one of my dad's old cars, and he brought it back to life out here, and we put it in the winner circle. And so huge thanks to Justin Ray. My beautiful old lady Lori, sitting back here and watching every lap of tonight's race. Sponsor list, man, got to thank Aerial Pros of Western North Carolina, Function Junction Smoke Shop, GG's, Mountain View Detailing, Waynesville Tire, and can't wait to carry on into next week. Appreciate everybody. Having a clean race tonight, man, that was huge. I think that's my long list there.
Well done, Radburn. I mean, it's I don't know if you rehearse that in front of the mirror or what you have to do to remember all those names, but you do a great job, and we thank you for your time. All right, so good luck next week at Martinsville.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
Race winner down here in Victory Lane, that's Radburn Shutters, putting the number 44 on top here at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. So let's get those final order on the screen. Show those results with the top 3 from Shutters, Farmer, and Holder that we just talked to in post-race. But then we have Michael Kostick going to come home in 4th position in the number 8. Daniel Cunningham, in the 5th spot. So a top 5 for the 85 here in round 3 of the playoffs. Rafael Hubi going to maintain the points lead, but not by much. 6th place here for the 21. Dustin Reinstedel is going to come home in 7th. Cody Anderson in 8th. Hawkins, 14 laps down to start this race, comes home 16 laps down in 9th, so gets the top 10. Then James Silvers in the number 17. He's going to bring it home for a top 10 and salvage that car Man, was it broken after that hard hit with the inside exit wall of turn 2. Casey Ryback in the number 91 is going to bring it home 11th with Sean Kaiser rather. I always do that. In the 12th spot, John Schwartz in the number 7, battling up there at the beginning half of this race. Comes home 13th after a hard impact with the inside wall. Jonathan Atkins, early exit here tonight in the number 57, going to bring it home 14th. And 2 drivers that did not grid. You have Michael Robinson in the 45 and Barrett Morton in 16th. Well, here tonight at Darlington Raceway, it was the good one. The 44 of Shutters locks himself into the playoffs and goes into Martinsville comfortable. We've got short track racing next week at the Paperclip, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live on V-Speed. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, do so now so you never miss a single race as we bring you flag-to-flag coverage on Bluegrass TV and V-Speed. But for everybody at V-Speed, Eddie Smith, Adam Baker, Connor Horn, Alec Martinez, this is Bradley Cooper signing off. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Marty's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.